This week's study. Now what's really cool about Viva la Vida by Coldplay is that it uses very basic chords, which makes it ideal for beginners. C, D, G, E minor. I'm going to show you some nice ways to change, some little shortcuts and tips for some of the chord sort of progressions. And it's also got a very nice rhythm pattern for the intermediate players. And in the middle, there's a B minor, which looks like that, which we can also bar chord. But step by step, we're going to take you through the first 4 basic chords. So we're going to focus first on our fretting hand. You'll notice I do have a capo on fret 1. Capos are normally something like this. I've got a nice little silver one. It must be on the first fret, which means that your second fret is now effectively your first fret. So the capo is replacing the nut over here. So C chord, if you don't know it, I'm sure you do, but for the beginners, here we go. C, D goes like that. For the beginners, if you need to get the chord right, just pause the video, look at my finger numbers. G, and G can also play like this. So the standard way for G is finger 3 at the bottom, fingers 1 and 2 at the top. But you can also do fingers 3 and 4 at the bottom, and fingers 1 and 2 at the top. That's actually the preferred way for G, it seems lately, but both are quite acceptable. And then, of course, E minor, nice and easy. The B minor we'll do later. And just quickly before we show you the strumming pattern, when you go from C to D, we have no choice, we have to move all the fingers. When we go from D to G, we need not move the ring finger, your third finger. What's that? One more time, D. What's my third finger? It doesn't move. That's if you use the second way to play G that I showed you. Otherwise, there is a little bit of change involved with him coming down first. Okay, we're on the G. I like this way. To go to E minor, finger 1 this time need not move. It just does that, slides back, fingers 3 and 4 off. And when we go back to loop or repeat rather from the C, your middle finger, finger number 2, need not move. So I always try and sort of not to move fingers unless they really have to move, like obviously C to D. It helps me get a sort of position, a sort of reference point on my guitar neck. So if you can change from G to E minor without really moving that first finger, or from E minor to C without moving the second, the middle finger, that's a nice to know. Okay, it's not a must. Now for the rhythm pattern. So we're going to focus on your fretting, or sorry, onto your strumming hand now. Now I'm quite happy if you use a pick. If you do use a pick, please hold it with the first finger and then secure it in position with your thumb. Make sure that you don't have a lot of your tip sticking out. So this would be a very bad pick grip. This would be a very good. So you want to have very little sticking out, because if it's a lot, it can slide. If it's over here, nice and secure. So very little tip, around about 3 to 4 millimeters sticking out. Now for the video, that's what it's going to sound like using a pick. You can also use your fingers if you want to. So you can do this. Now, don't strum with your thumb, because your thumb will never move as fast as your first finger does. So later when you do more intricate strumming patterns, you could hardly even see that first finger moving. So don't strum with your thumb, please. Rather get into using your first finger or grab yourself a pick. Okay, now I'm going to play with the finger for no real reason, so I'm not advocating a finger is better. I just feel like playing with the finger for this morning. But the strumming rhythm, the up and down strokes will still be the same. Now we're playing a C chord. You're familiar with C, just a quick glance again. And we're going to start with 4 down strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. As simple as that. Now the tricky part, or the sneaky part, is as you finish your 4th strum, you go immediately to an up strum on the D. You can actually hear the change. 1, 2, 3, 4 and if I zoom out a bit, we'll now be able to see the fretting hand change on that upstroke we spoke about. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So as you strum the and, you must already be on that D chord. Okay, so we don't strum and change after the strum. The D we strum after the D is actually changed. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. D is already there. And then we're going to strum D up again. And then we're going to do 5 strums in a row. Now the correct way is to count and 3 and 4 and. That's the correct musical way to count. It's 5 strums starting with an upstroke. So I'm going to focus a bit closer again onto the strumming hand. And again, if you're using a pick, it'll be up, 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 down, up, down, up. That's what everything must happen on the D. And just those 5 quick strums, up, down, up, down, up. You can also count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's not the correct sort of trained method to count, but it will give you the same result. So if you're a beginner and that up, down, up, if that throws you, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll get the same result for that. Now, if I put the C and the D together with the whole way through, we're going to have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. We got that? Want to play through one more time with me? I'll slow it down even a little bit more. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's as basic as that. Now, when we repeat, or rather repeat, sorry, go to the next chord, the G and E minor. Instead of going C to D, C is now replaced by G. So G is going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 down strums. So G replaces the C in the rhythm pattern, and the D, which was up, down, up, that is now E minor. So if you pair the groups, or the chords together rather, C and D being the first complete cycle, the second complete cycle is G replacing the C, and then your E minor replacing your D. And remember the G as well, we spoke about fingers 3 and 4. Not too phased about that. Now I'm going to take it through slowly, all 4 chords. Are we ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... If I do it with a pick, just to keep the pick players happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Of course, we need a little bit more speed. Now, we mentioned earlier a B minor chord. Let me just share the chord voicing, the chord shape with you quickly. If you're an absolute first to guitar, let's go for the easiest way to do B minor. Some books do show this. Finger 1, 2nd fret after your capo. Remember, we spoke about the capo. So first finger there, 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Ring finger number 3, my fingers are numbered, onto the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And you only strum the bottom 4 strings. Now, if you've been playing for a little bit, I would favor doing this instead. 1 and 2 are still the same. Ring finger goes to the 4th string, 4th fret, and the pinky underneath it. That would be for the slightly more advanced players. And for those that are even more advanced, I would really encourage bar chords. Now, if you know this B minor and you're not sure of bar chords, watch fingers 2 and 3 and 4. They will not move. My thumb's going to disappear, and watch my first finger. Fingers 2, 3, and 4 stationary. And now I've got a bar chord. And the advantage of the bar chord is I can strum all 6 strings if I really want to, but ideally 5. Now, if you're looking at your PDF of the song Viva la Vida, you'll notice at the chorus, at the last line, instead of going C to D to G to E minor, it goes C to D to B minor to E minor. So your G is simply replaced with B minor. So if you zoom out now and you get your left and right hands together, and now we play that last line, it's going to go something like this. C, there's your B minor, and I'm actually playing my E minor like this as well. Some guitarists do like this. You can play it like this or like that. I'm not too phased, but the important part of this lesson over here is the very last line of the chorus, C to D, B minor for the first time players now instead of the bar chord, but still B minor, to E minor. So to sort of abbreviate everything here, C, D, G, E minor is almost the whole song, but at the end of the choruses, watch out please for that lurking B minor, which can be like this, or like that, or a bar chord. And from the B minor replacing the G now, remember, replacing the G, we go to E minor, which is still the same. What I've shown you now in this video should get you through Viva la Vida really, really well. Again, for those that have forgotten about the capo, please make sure you've got one on fret number 1. And any questions, you're more than welcome to drop me an email on my channel or send me a WhatsApp if you're one of my students. Have an awesome day. Take care. Cheers.